Good morning, everyone. Hello and welcome to another adventure, another adventure of Cardweaver and Witch, because that's what we are here. We weave the cards, we witch, we do the things. Um, yes. I don't know. I hope everyone is doing well today. We're gonna have a good experience. I feel we're gonna have a good discussion today. And like always, this is our time together. So always feel free to share your thoughts. Feel free to share, what you feel when a card pops up, what you think, what you see. Well, hello, Zoe. Welcome. Hello. But yeah, this is our time together. It's our time to have conversation, to explore the cards and do all the things. So I always feel for, even if it's like different than what I have to say, it's important because someone else might need to hear that aspect of the card, and I can't cover like all of the things about the card in a short period of time anyways, and I don't know all the things anyways. So today we're talking about the Eight of Cups reverse. And if you've noticed, we've had a lot of reversals lately. Well, hello, Dragon Dancer. Welcome. We've had a lot of reversals lately, and I always pay attention to like patterns. And I like this because I feel the reversals that pop up. They're there because we are ready to have sometimes like harder conversations. We are ready to talk about things that are maybe about conflict resolution. We are ready to talk about things that might be a little deeper or might be a little friction or chaos oriented, and that's good because that means we're in the process of healing as well as on the process for growth, right? And so I've noticed that a lot with the reversals. It's a good time for us to be having these conversations. And so the first like sort of key insight, I guess, is like our with the Eight of Cups. You can just look at the card, and this card has kind of like a dingy, I've always felt like this card looks dingier than a lot of the other cards in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And so I always like, okay, that's a very interesting take. It does look a little dull, a little dingy. And then if you look at it, like when cups, all those cups right there, when they're reversed, what does that mean? It means like all of these cups are being there's a detox process, right? A detoxifying process, or the contents are being poured out, and not always by choice, right? Not always by choice. And so that's something that we take into consideration when cups are reversed. It's like, oh, is this my choice to get this all out, or is it like my choice to like not like we have to, or is it taking that choice taken away from me? So that's something I always consider when we have a reversal of cups. And if you look at the figure in this card reversed, upright, he's normally, or they are normally walking from the left to the right. So it's like, okay, they've been through a struggle of some sort, or they're going through something emotionally intense, but they're actually moving forward, they're walking on, they're moving on, right? And so reverse, it's like, okay, we're not actually moving on. That's something that we take into consideration. We're not necessarily moving on, we're going from kind of the right to the left. And so it's like, oh, we're maybe going back into a situation that we're familiar with, that we're comfortable with. So the key insight here to talk about today is the persistent attachment to the familiar. uh, the Eight of Cups reversed signals our tendency to cling to familiar yet unsatisfying circumstances due to fear of change and loss. And you can see loss in this card because sometimes when we recognize that we're not satisfied, when we recognize that change is required, like if we want differently, I feel, and let me know if I'm making sense, but like I feel when this card pops up, it's like, oh, the relationships of things, our heart, we're not really satisfied, we're not fulfilled, and we recognize like we're in a situation we're comfortable with, but in order for us to be fulfilled, we have to change that situation, or we have to change how we behave or interact with that situation. And when we change how we behave or interact or our programming in any given situation, that does invite loss at times, not always, but a lot of times when we change how we believe or what we believe, and we change things to make ourselves happy, we can see around us people don't like that. People don't always like that, I should say. I don't say, I shouldn't talk into certainties, but like people don't always like that, and we start to maybe detox our relationships. People leave, or people like to point the finger, and then we just like we break, right? We break free from that. And so there is that fear that is associated with that change and loss, because we recognize when we change, the potential for everything else to change, which is kind of what we need and want, but it is great, that change from on a bigger, like a grander scale, is much like intense, like really intense. So this card illustrates the emotional struggle of leaving behind what no longer serves us, highlighting the importance of recognizing when comfort becomes a barrier to growth. So yeah, what does that say to you? How does that make you feel? What do you make of this? And in our lives, like we can each ask ourselves that question, like what might we be scared of, moving, trying to move into something that feels better to us? And maybe why are we like, what where are we choosing to stay or remain, or go back into a situation, understanding that it's just comfort, it's not even good for us, it's not the best for us, but we're comfort there, we're comfortable with what we know. And what we don't know is scary, and so we might be not releasing a situation because of that. And so it's important. Well, hello, Kat. Good morning. Good morning. And so, when we talk about this first aspect, there's some practical applications. We can evaluate our comfort zones, take time to reflect on the aspects of our lives where comfort has become a crutch, identify areas where we might be avoiding change due to fear. That's huge. Like, let's ask ourselves this right now. And again, you don't have to comment, just like note it within your own space. If you'd like, you can comment if you want, but like, where in my life, like where am I avoiding change right now due to fear? Right? That's important. So just make note of that and list the pros and cons of staying versus leaving these situations. Um, it's a lot, living, existing is a lot. So there are a lot of people in situations and relationships that they might not be fulfilled, but they recognize, like, if they were to be on their own, they might be homeless, they might not be able to do the things yet. And so that's also valid. That's also valid. So don't feel bad. It's like, it's just being mindful of where you're at in your situation, and maybe making little changes in your life to help support when and if you choose to make a bigger decision to walk away. Does that make sense? Or not even to walk away. It's like walking towards something better for yourself. um and so evaluating our comfort zones extremely important, especially when this card pops up. Set small challenges, so introduce small or yeah, set small challenges. So introduce small changes or challenges that help us step out of our comfort zone gradually. And this is good because sometimes we need that big leap, but sometimes depending on our circumstance we need to do little things first to help us build that confidence, right? That strength, that foundation. So for instance, if you hesitate to change jobs despite dissatisfaction, start by updating your resume or attending a networking event. That's huge, you know. A lot of people get stuck in a job because you make a certain amount of money, you're scared of not making that money. There's a lot of stuff that goes on with that. But if you can set yourself up for success, understanding that when you do decide to maybe switch jobs, you will have things in place where you will be comfortable until that other job kicks in, right? So just make little decisions, little investments, little changes that will help you in the grander scheme of things, right? Seek support. Seek support. Discuss your fears and hesitations with a trusted friend, mentor, coach, therapist, whatever. External perspectives can provide encouragement and push you towards making necessary changes, reducing the emotional weight of leaving the familiar behind. I will offer something with that though. Okay, we all know the friend that is going to support us, right? We all have various types of friends, and there are friends who will support us no matter what, and there are friends who will blindly like yeah, leave, go, leave, do that, but they don't really take into consideration, and they don't mean they don't mean bad or negative by it, but like they don't also take into consideration that the struggle that might happen after. They don't take into full consideration the things that you have to deal with. Does that make sense? And so like when we're discussing these things, we need to also keep that in mind. The type of friend that we're discussing them with. We have the friend who understands our situation, knows that if we leave a certain situation, we might financially it might not be as we might not be able to do it financially, or it'd be really, really tight. And so they might be like, me, you know what? Maybe before you leave, set yourself up for being able to handle these certain bills, or get certain things paid off before you go, or like you can maybe reach out for assistance here or there. There's that friend, and there's nothing wrong with that, or there's nothing wrong with the other ones either, but like just be mindful of the type of person, the type of friend that you're sharing your space with, or you're sharing your thoughts with. So when you receive that feedback, you understand like what they are considering and what they are not considering. Does that make sense? I think that's important. And so um when we get into our second talking point or key insight of okay, good, thank you. um when we get into our second aspect of the Eight of Cups reversed, in its reverse position, the Eight of Cups reflects periods of aimless drifting and indecision. It serves as a reminder of the dangers of stagnation and the critical need for grounding and purpose, urging us to find clarity and direction even when the path forward seems obscured. So it's interesting because the Eight of Cups is associated with the first decan of Pisces, which is, I believe, Saturn in Pisces. And because it's reversed, there's challenge there, right? And there's challenge because Pisces is ruled by Jupiter, and then there's Saturn, and there's like, not being able to like being having a lot of potential but not always like achieving it. And I feel like Saturn is really, really great at making decisions and precise cuts, right? Precise breaks. But in reverse, it's challenged, right? So it's like, I want to do this, I want to grow here, but I also want to do this and grow here, and I don't know what to do. And there's a lot of like indecision here. And so I feel like again, uncertainty and lack of direction. And so with the Eight of Cups reversed, when it pops up for us, it is that reminder that ooh, we do have to make a decision. We feel stagnant. We feel like maybe like moving super slow, super slow, like it's just weird and awkward, and it's just an odd feeling. And we're just kind of like drifting in space, and we don't really know where to go, what to choose, because there's maybe so many options, or we're thinking that there's so many options, and we're just trying to figure out what we really want to do. And I feel like if we break it down into smaller things, like what do I need right now, it helps, right? And so where are we stagnant in our life right now? Where are we um where are we kind of just floating? And so right now in our relationships, in our heart, it's really important to not escape it, not to walk away from it, but to look at it in the mirror, to look ourselves in the mirror and face ourselves, and be mindful of receiving clarity. And it's like, yes, I feel stagnant, or I feel like I'm drifting, and I feel like I'm just going through the motions, but why? Let me ask myself that. I'm the best person to be able to respond, right? We're the ones dealing with this and going through it. So it's just a matter of being honest with ourselves. Um, and and so uh we might need to look at it and apply daily goal setting. Begin each day by setting clear, achievable goals. This practice can help bring focus and direction, reducing feelings of aimlessness. Ensure these goals align with your larger aspirations to foster a sense of progress. So, do you see how that sort of connects with the card? It's like it kind of makes me think of someone floating in outer space, and like there's no tether, but then like setting like daily goals, now you have a tether, and so you have something that you're attached to, and so you're floating, but you have something that you're attached to, and now you have this ability to see that, and now you can get closer and closer to where that attachment started, right, where it begins, so you can pull yourself closer to your ship or whatever it is. I don't know, but do you see how that can connect? And so when we are like maybe stagnant, we're not clear of things, and we're floating, and we're just drifting off into our la la land, and whatever. If we set daily goals, it gives us something to focus on, and then as we have something to focus on, or to achieve, or to work towards, other things start to fall into place, right? And so that's important with the Eight of Cups in reverse. We need that sort of structure. We need that structure, those boundaries, that sort of limitation. We need to be able to recognize, like, I can't do this right now because I don't have the resources. So let me put it on a list to maybe eventually get to. And let me look at what I do have. Let me look at the resources I have, and let me see what I can do with those, and make little steps to where I want to be in the grand picture of things, right? Um, so there's that. Mindfulness and meditation is another aspect, a practical application. So engage in mindfulness practices or meditation to enhance your awareness of the present moment. This can help clarify your thoughts and feelings, making it easier to identify the direction you wish to take. You can actually what actually could oh my gosh, the stutter. Oh no. What I'm trying to say is a sort of meditation and mindfulness practice that can be merged together is like tea time, or like when you're enjoying a meal. Like cook a meal that you love, and don't put your phone away, put the TV away, sit at the table, make it nice, ground yourself, center yourself, and like enjoy the meal. Like pay attention to your body, pay attention to, like, as you, like, cut your food or whatever it is, and as you consume, and the textures, and the flavors and the spices and all of that, pay attention to that, be mindful of that. And that actually helps you to sort of ground yourself in your body, but it also helps you to pay attention to all the things that you're processing in that moment, and you're not distracted by outside stimulus, like outside influence, as in like the TV, the movie that's going on, or an audible book, or your phone. So this really does, it really can help. So when the Eight of Cups reverse pops up, this might be something to suggest to a client or to ourselves, right? So just be aware of that. Consult a professional. If uncertainty feels overwhelming, consider seeking advice from a career counselor, life coach, or therapist. These professionals can offer guidance and tools to help you define your path and make informed decisions. Um, you may also, like, depending on what it is, you may also like complement that with a tarot professional. I help a lot of people kind of pick apart certain decisions and come up with different plans of action, and I help people find clarity in decision making, y'all. Oh my gosh, where did that come from? Decision making. And it's important to also recognize, like, I don't take power away from my clients. I empower them to make decisions that they want to make. And so that's also another option, to consult a tarot professional who's going to help you see sort of like different aspects, different sides of things, what might be a better decision and why, and come up with ways to get there, right? So there's that. And our last key insight and talking point for this card today is opportunity for reassessment and discovery. Opportunity for reassessment and discovery. This reversal prompts us to reevaluate our current paths and the choices that led us here. It opens the door to discovering new opportunities within old environments, encouraging us to redefine our perceptions of fulfillment and seek out deeper emotional satisfaction. So, what does that say to you? Um, how does that make you feel? You can look at this. Again, there's no judgment here. This all can be someone going back to a relationship, like trying one last time. Like, let's try. It might not work, but like it might not work. And a lot of times it doesn't. I'm not going to say all the time, but it might not work. But the fact that we go back into a situation to try to make it work or try to figure things out, it might be the last piece of data, the last piece of information we need to help us make a clean break. Does that make sense? And so I don't judge. There's no point in it. It's not our lives. So like when someone is like, I just think I need to do this, then we find out why. We find out and we explore and we support and we recognize, like, oh, this, whatever you experience here might be, exactly what you need for yourself to have that clarity. Like, this is not me. This is not for me. It's kind of like someone trying like ugh, sushi. Like, you hate fish, like you just hate like, oh, gross fish, and then you're trying sushi. You're like, I'm just gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again, and you were like, oh no, not for me. Or, oh my god, actually, I really like it. Does that make I know it's superficial, but like it's a lot like that. It's like, because everyone cooks differently. So maybe like I had an experience and someone just didn't cook it right, or it wasn't fresh enough, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't eat sushi, but and then someone else prepares it and it's like really, and they're amazing at it, and they try it and like, wow, I never knew this could be so good. Right? Eight of Cups reverse can kind of like help us to discern those types of things. And we do have to sort of reevaluate and understand, like, oh, I'm walking back to something. Why? Am I scared of what may be? Am I scared of the future? Am I, what's going on here is honestly like what we really need to dig deep and process, but no judgment. And so, practical applications, journal reflection. So use journaling as a tool to reassess our current circumstances. Regularly write down our thoughts, feelings, and satisfaction levels with different aspects of our lives to track changes over time and uncover new insights. Well, good. I'm glad that this is a good conversation to have today. Yeah. And so like journaling our reflections is important because then we can see like, oh, this is a pattern here, this is what happened, and this is what I'm feeling, and all of this. Ooh, this card's actually I love that. I'm glad that we can talk about something that we can all kind of like learn from, utilize, or be, just at least it helps us to process in a way where, like, you know what, these are really good things to be mindful of, and I can sit with this, and I know that whatever my decision is, it's going to be my decision, and I can get the most out of it. Explore new hobbies or interests. Actively seek out new activities or hobbies that differ from your usual routines. Because again, with the Eight of Cups reverse, we might be going back to something because we don't have a clear plan of what we're walking towards, or we're fearing like what the future has in store. So if we actively seek out new activities or hobbies that differ from our usual routines, this exploration can spark joy and lead to unexpected discoveries about what truly fulfills us emotionally and spiritually. And so like having new things to sort of try out might help us like, you know what, I'm going to explore this, and this helps me sort of reverse the reversal. Oh my god. But like it helps me to be mindful, like I don't have to walk into my comfort zone. I can sort of like redirect and try something new, I can come back a little if I don't like it, or if it's too much for me. There's leeway here, there's a little buffer here, and we need to allow ourselves to experience that. But being open to new experiences, new adventures, new ways of looking at things, it helps with this card. It helps because we don't want to be stuck in the past, and I don't feel like revisiting certain things is creating this stuck energy. But like we have to be very, very careful that we revisit from a new awareness, right? Does that make sense? um Revisit old projects, look back at past projects or goals that were once important but got sidelined. Assess whether these can now provide new opportunities for growth and satisfaction, possibly reigniting your passion and offering a new path forward. That's actually funny. That has me thinking on some things. Yeah, so be mindful of that. I like that actually. I like it. It's funny. I'm saying that's funny because a lot of people, like, I write, sometimes I share, sometimes I don't, but I have so many different book ideas in me, and I kind of want to start I want to get fiction out there, but like there's so much, to do. And I've been revisiting the idea of doing it again, or working on it again, but that's why I'm like, oh, revisiting old projects. So that's just funny to me. But yeah, you can see how all of these aspects of the card show up, and then we're provided with like practical applications, how to sort of like balance, or well, have fun, cat. Yeah, we're just finishing up anyways. So you enjoy as well. So yeah, that's what's popping up for the Eight of Cups reverse. Do you have any last minute thoughts, questions, concerns? Feel free to share. But I do feel like when the Eight of Cups reverse pops up, it might signal trying one more time. But like I would suggest if we try something one more time or give something another shot, we also need to be mindful not to do it the same way we've done it the entire time. So we still need to channel like doing things differently, or shifting our beliefs and programming, and we can give it another shot from a different perspective or a different way. um Indecision, a lot of indecision here, a lot of like floating in space type of vibes here. So just be mindful to ground, be mindful to give ourselves certain tasks to keep us on track. Okay. um and there's a lot of fear of change, fear of loss. But I will say this, y'all, like, loss is a natural part of life. And I don't, how do I put this? I don't really feel, just an example, I guess. I recently, like, I deleted a lot of people from my friends list on Facebook because we don't talk. And it wasn't personal. It wasn't like I didn't like I'm mad at you. I have friends, family too, you know. It wasn't any of that. It was just like I need to create a space for myself where I can see the people that I do engage with more often. I need to declutter. I want to facilitate something new, there was a sense of, oh my gosh, we've been in each other's lives for like over a decade, but we don't talk. And that's sad to me, but I also have to let that go. And so there is that fear of loss. And I think loss is simply, I don't feel like it's a loss because we still have the memories of what we experienced with each other before. And so that's still active, that's still there. It's not a loss. It's a part of our story. And now we have to recognize like, oh, this isn't a loss. It's an opportunity to build new friendships or new experiences or to connect with new people, and to grow in different ways. And so I feel like that fear of loss, we need to shift that around a little bit to recognize like there's nothing to fear. These situations, these peoples, they're not forever. And they're not always forever, anyways. And it's okay. They're there for when we need, and when we need each other, we need to build whatever experience. And when they're not there, it's like, thank you so much for being a part of my story, a part of my life. I so appreciate it. I appreciate it, and I look forward to what comes next. And so that's an important thing. But yeah, that's what's popping up for the 8 of Cups reversed. Again, if y'all need anything, always reach out. I have so much to say. I'm gonna wrap this up. I do have like three, I want to say three kits left. So I have magical oils. I have a warding oil, I have a love oil, I have a sleep oil, and I have a protection oil. All ready to be sent out. So if you want to purchase them or want more information on that, message me. I do have a special going on for readings. So if you want a reading with me, message me and we'll talk about that. And I'm in the process of finalizing my tarot training. So I have like a few more lessons or several more lessons, but I'm in a space where I can actually start taking on a couple more tarot students. So if you want to learn tarot with me, um, it is serious. It is serious stuff. Uh, it's a lot, and it's an investment. So if you want to train with me, it is actual course. It's training. I'm providing you a lot of information that will overwhelm, but you'll have to unpack for however long you need, because it's your course. So if you're interested in that, reach out, and I will talk to you all. What is today? Wednesday. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. All right. Take care.